Adult Solutions. Add-on desires.
Hello viewers, welcome to Adult Solution Daily Current Affairs. I am Lokesh Penugonda. We'll begin our session with our first article, which is talking about the resignation of Uttarakhand Chief Minister Mr. Tirth Singh Rawat. In the month of March 2021, that is just 4 months ago, Mr. Tirth Singh Rawat took over as the Chief Minister of Uttarakhand. He did so as the then Chief Minister, Mr. Trivendra Singh Rawat, resigned. So, he has been made as a Chief Minister on March of 2021. But what you need to understand is that Mr. Tirth Singh Rawat is not a member of the Legislative Assembly of the Uttarakhand. So, he is not even a member of the Legislative Assembly of Uttarakhand. So, the question normally arises is, can a person be made as a minister or a chief minister if he is not a MLA of the state? The answer is yes. The Indian Constitution states that a person can be made as a minister or a chief minister if he is just eligible to become a MLA of a particular state. So, as Mr. Tirth Singh Rawat is eligible to become an MLA, he is made as a minister, as a chief minister. But you have to understand that within 6 months of becoming a minister, he have to become an MLA. So, the Representation of People's Act states that within 6 months, a person after becoming a minister have to become an MLA. If not, he have to resign. So, as Mr. Tirth Singh Rawat become a chief minister on March of 2021, technically, he have to become an MLA by or before September of 2021, that is within 2 months. Then why did he not become an MLA? The Representation of People's Act states that if a state assembly's tenure ends in 1 year, then you would not have to conduct a by-poll. So this is a significant provision that states that if the assembly's tenure is coming to end within 1 year, then by-polls would not be conducted. So, we'll understand all this with the Uttarakhand example. Uttarakhand has went to polls on March of 2017. So, the assembly's tenure will be ending on March 2022, so that new elections would be conducted. Today is July of 2021. That means the elections to the next assembly session of the Uttarakhand is less than 1 year away. So, the election commission stated that it cannot conduct a by-poll election. So, if you cannot conduct a by-poll, Mr. Tirth Singh Rawat could not become an MLA, even if someone resigned and even if someone asked Mr. Tirth Singh Rawat to contest from this seat. As he cannot become an MLA within September 2021, Mr. Tirth Singh Rawat has offered his resignation to the High Command, and now it is stated that the members of the Uttarakhand Assembly will elect their own Chief Minister in the coming up session. So this is with respect to Mr. Rawat resignation. Next is we have an article talking about the report called as Trafficking in Person. The report is titled as Trafficking in Persons. So what is trafficking? Trafficking is nothing but buying or selling of humans. So human trade is called as trafficking. So why would a person buy or sell someone else? Generally, people who are poor or people who have been trafficked will be used for forced labor or for sexual exploitation, and it is also being termed as slavery. And countries around the world are taking numerous action to prohibit such trafficking because it will affect the human rights of a person very negatively. So, countries around the world in most cases are trying to prohibit this trafficking, and they have been penalizing and punishing those persons indulging in trafficking. But according to this Trafficking in Persons report brought out by the US government, there are 12 countries which are either allowing directly or indirectly this trafficking, and it is stated that these 12 countries are Afghanistan, Burma, China, Cuba, Eritrea, South Sudan, Russia, Iran, Syria and Turkmenistan. From all this list, you should remember just two names. First is China and second is Russia. The US report is stating that China, after detaining millions of Uyghur Muslims, are using these Uyghur Muslims for forced labor. So, who are these Uyghur Muslims? There is a province or a state in China called as Xinjiang, and Uyghur minority Muslims live in high numbers in this province. As China is a communist rule, as China is under communist rule and these are minorities, they have been detained in large numbers. Various reports states that more than 10 lakh men and women coming from this Uyghur Muslim community have been arrested, have been detained, or have been kept in jail, and these 10 lakh people were forced to work as forced labor. So from this report we can understand how these people are being asked to do something they are not doing voluntarily. So this is like a trafficking. So that's why United States kept China under this report. And you should note that this trafficking in persons report, after surveying all the countries, will categorize countries into three tiers. They will categorize countries into three tiers on the basis of enforcement, on the basis of prohibition of trafficking. First is tier 1. If a country is kept under tier 1, it means that strict enforcement is being done for trafficking, that is to prevent trafficking. So most of the Western countries are kept under this tier 1. Next is tier 2. If a country is kept under tier 2, it means that this country, though taking action to prevent and prohibit trafficking, but still in a small number trafficking is happening. You should note that India has been kept under tier 2, which states that India, though trying to prohibit and trying to completely eradicate trafficking, it is not able to do so completely. Next is the tier 3, which if a country is kept under tier 3, it means that this country is either directly or indirectly promoting this trafficking. And we have already seen how 12 nations or 12 countries, including China and Russia, have been kept under tier 3. So this is with respect to the trafficking report given by the United States. And within the same trafficking in persons report, there is one more categorization which is talking about recruitment of child soldiers. So there is a report which is also given in the same trafficking in report. This is talking about recruitment of children in armed forces in countries such as Afghanistan, Pakistan, Turkey, and in other many West Asian countries. Children who are even less than 18 years are being enrolled into their armed forces. This will negatively impact the child's education, the child's mental and physical abilities. So the United States report is asking all these countries to completely do away with this child recruitment in armed forces. This is with respect to the trafficking in persons report given by the United States yesterday. Next we have an article where it is stated that United States is for the first time leaving its 2-decade-old Afghan base. So we'll see what is this Afghan base. There is an airfield in Afghanistan named as Bagram Airfield. The airfield's name is Bagram. This airfield has been used by United States forces to fight Taliban and other Al-Qaeda terrorists staying in Afghanistan soil from the last 20 years. As we have already seen how United States has invaded Afghanistan after Al-Qaeda through its members have attacked the World Trade Center and Pentagon in the year 2001. And as Al-Qaeda is being supported by the Taliban, who are running the Afghanistan government in the year 2001, US and its allies have invaded Afghanistan, and from the last 20 years they've been fighting Taliban and Al-Qaeda. But last year what we have seen is United States has signed an agreement with the Taliban, wherein Taliban have stated that if United States and its allies leave the Afghanistan soil, they will not attack and they will not let others use their territories to attack Western countries and United States allies. So an agreement has been reached and United States and its allies are scheduled to leave Afghanistan soil before September 11th of this year, and as a part of this agreement, United States is leaving this key Afghanistan airfield base titled Bagram Airfield yesterday. Next we have an article where it is stated that European Union to raise taxes, it is planning to start the European Union digital levy or the European Union digital tax. Before understanding how a digital tax works, you should understand how a normal tax works. Let's say there is person A. Person A went to a hotel named as Hotel 123. And if person A wants to stay in this hotel for one day, Hotel A's receptionist might say that he have to pay 3,000 rupees plus taxes. So what are these taxes? Taxes are the money the government impose on the person who is using this hotel's facilities. So if the tax is 5%, then the person will have to pay not only 3,000 but also 150 rupees extra. You should note that this 3,000 will be used by the hotel and this 150 would have to be paid to the government by the hotel. So this is one tax, and after 1 year, if this hotel is getting 2 crore rupees profit, that is, if it is able to get a profit of 2 crore in a 1 year, it has to pay tax on even this amount. So not only the hotel have to pay tax on its profit, but also it have to pay tax on the rooms it has gave to someone. So these are two taxes the hotel is paying. That is, in the person A is indirectly paying to the government. So this is how a normal taxation works. Whereas in the last few years, what we have been witnessing is the growth of digital services. So what are these digital services? Let's say you want to watch a movie, but there is a pandemic, you cannot go to the movie theater. So what you will do? You will try to get subscription of Netflix or Amazon Prime, wherein after paying a small amount, you can watch numerous movies and TV shows. But these companies only pay tax on its total profit, but as of now they are not paying the tax on the service amount or the subscription amount they are taking. So if Amazon Prime is charging 1,000 rupees per customer for an year, Amazon Prime as of now might not be paying a tax on this 1,000 rupees per annum, but rather it is only paying the tax on its profit. If Amazon Prime is getting 2 crore profit, it might pay tax on only this amount, but there is no tax being imposed on the service provided by this digital websites. So to raise the revenue, the European Union is of the view that we should also impose taxes on the digital services. So from now onwards, if the European Union brings in a digital tax, then a European Union citizen, if he wants to subscribe to this Amazon Prime, would not only have to pay 1,000 rupees, but also he might have to pay 5% or 10% if that is the tax levied by the European Union. So this is the major difference between the digital services and the physical services taxation. Now we'll see why the European Union wants to raise its revenue. Last year when the COVID pandemic struck the country and the European Union as a bloc have taken a decision. The decision is to take a loan of $750 billion. The decision is to take a loan of $750 billion because these countries are facing huge economic crisis due to lockdowns, as industries and people are not getting enough money. So the taxation received by the government is less. So to help the government move on with its day-to-day administration and and for vaccinating these people, the government would require a lot amount of money. So European Union, which is a 27 countries bloc, have taken a loan of 750 billion. So to pay back this loan along with interest, the European Union countries will need more amount of revenue. So this revenue is planned to be generated through the new proposed European Union digital tax. Next we have an article where it is stated that Mr. T. Mariyappan, who is a gold medal winner in the last Paralympic Olympics, is stated to be the flag bearer at this Tokyo Paralympic Games. So we have Mr. T. Mariyappan, who has won a gold medal when it comes to high jump. In the last Paralympic Olympic Games, and now he has been asked by the Sports Authority of India and the government to be the flag bearer of the Tokyo Paralympic Games. So you should note about 2 points. First is it is Mr. T. Mariyappan who will be the flag bearer, and next is the sport or the field he is associated with, that is the high jump. Next we have an article where the United States has issued a moratorium on the death penalty at the federal level. So what is a moratorium? Moratorium is nothing but temporary suspension. So you can see that the United States has temporarily suspended the death penalty. So what is the death penalty? Death penalty is the state-sponsored killing. It is the state-sponsored killing of a person convicted of a crime. In India, we have seen how the rapists involved in the Nirbhaya case were hanged to death just a few years back. So you can understand that India has a death penalty, whereas several European countries and several developed countries does not have this death penalty. But the United States carries or have death penalty, which is used very rarely. And now United States federal government headed by the President Mr. Joseph Biden has stated that they are keeping or bringing a temporary halt on the death penalty. So if you have a question which is talking about the country which has brought the temporary suspension to death penalties, then that will be the United States of America. Next we have an article which is talking about Poshan Abhiyan. So we'll just see major points regarding the Poshan Abhiyan. In the year 2018, the Union government has brought out this Poshan Abhiyan. The objective of the Poshan Abhiyan is to reduce the malnutrition. It is to reduce the malnutrition in the people. This will be mainly focused towards children, pregnant women and lactating women. So the objective is to reduce malnutrition mainly in children, lactating and pregnant women. So this is a major objective or aim of this Poshan Abhiyan. You should note that this project will come to an end in the year 2022. So this started in 2018 and will run for 4 years and would come to an end in the year 2022. And you should note that this project is under the Ministry of Child and Family Welfare. Under this ministry, this important project has come up with. Next we have an article where the Delhi government is planning to celebrate its 3rd anniversary of bringing of the happiness curriculum. So what is this happiness curriculum? The government of Delhi has brought out a educational course called as happiness curriculum, where this course will be taught to children. It will be taught to children of 1st standard to 8th standard studying in government run schools. So whatever schools that are being run under the government of Delhi, they will bring in a course called as happiness curriculum, wherein the objective of this course is to improve the child's mental abilities. So it is to improve the mental abilities, including the teaching of children regarding social relationships, regarding problem solving, and regarding relationship maintaining. So the major objective of this course brought out by the Delhi government is to promote the mental abilities of the children studying in the government schools run by Delhi. Next, we have an article where it is stated that in the Q1 of the financial year 2021 and 2022, we have exported a record $95 billion worth merchandise. So we have exported this huge merchandise just in one quarter. This is a significant development due to the fact that this is the first ever time India has exported $95 billion worth equipment in just one quarter. So with this, we are in the aim, or we are in the proposed $400 billion merchandise exporting objective. So the government of India has stated that it has a plan to export $400 billion worth merchandise, and as we are able to export nearly $95 billion worth equipment or goods in just one quarter, we might be able to achieve nearly $380 billion worth exporting of merchandise equipment. So we are in close with respect to achieving this $400 billion exporting merchandise goal. And with this, we have come to the end of this session. Inform about ADOT's initiative to your other aspirant friends. You can visit our website to attend mock tests based on our daily current affairs videos. Thank you for watching.
Add-on solutions. Add-on desired.